Today, we're diving into something pretty profound, but also incredibly practical. It's a path to a more real, a more vivid kind of consciousness, and it's called self-remembering. Now, this whole idea is inspired by the teachings of G.I. Gurdjieff, and believe it or not, it all kicks off with one very simple but very challenging question. No, seriously, I want you to stop for just a second, right now, in this moment, and really ask yourself, are you truly awake? Or could there be a whole other level of awareness that you haven't even begun to tap into yet? You know, this quote from the source material is powerful. It's almost jarring, right? It's basically saying that our normal, everyday state of being, the one you're in right this second, is just another kind of sleep. It's a vivid dream that we all need to wake up from. So how in the world do we start to wake up? Well, look, this isn't just about some abstract philosophical idea. It's a practical system. And the first step, maybe the hardest one, is to just honestly look at our own inner machinery and admit, hey, maybe we're not as in control as we think we are. Okay, so at the heart of this whole problem is a state called identification. Think about it for a second. How often are you just completely lost? Lost in a thought, lost in a worry, or just mindlessly scrolling on your phone? In those moments, you're not really there, are you? You're not consciously present. Your attention has been completely hijacked, and you basically become a machine, just reacting to whatever pops up next. And that right there leads to an even more radical idea. I mean, if we're just reacting all the time, then who is this you that's supposedly running the show? Well, according to this teaching, that idea of a single, solid you is pretty much an illusion. Instead, what we really are is this crowd of different eyes. You've got the eye that wants to eat healthy and the eye that really wants that junk food. There's the ambitious eye, the lazy eye, and they're all constantly battling it out for control. This image it nails it perfectly. Your mind isn't some calm, single driver. Nope. It's a chaotic bus packed with passengers, all these different eyes. And every one of them is constantly grabbing the steering wheel, yanking you in a totally different direction. So here's the crucial part. With all these different drivers constantly fighting for the wheel, there's no one who's consistently just observing what's going on. There's no permanent, conscious manager of the whole system. We just kind of lurch from one impulse to the next. And suddenly, so much of our weird human behavior starts to make sense, right? This is why you can make a New Year's resolution on Monday and have it totally forgotten by Wednesday. It wasn't really you who failed, it was just a different passenger, a different eye that shoved its way to the front and grabbed the wheel of the bus. Okay, so if the problem is that we're all fragmented and chaotic, what's the solution? Well, it's a practice, an art form, really, designed to forge a single, unified self, and it's called the art of self-remembering. Now, this is a really important distinction. This is not about navel-gazing, it's not about analyzing your personality for hours on end. It's a very specific action, being aware of the world outside of you, while, at the exact same time, being aware of yourself experiencing it. So here's how it actually works. It's called the division of attention. First, your attention is on something outside yourself. Let's say a tree. I am seeing the tree. Simple. But then you add a second stream of attention, pointing back at yourself. I am aware that I am the one who is seeing. You become present to both the thing you're seeing and the one doing the seeing. I just love this quote from the source material. It's such a beautiful way to capture the feeling, isn't it? You hold both of these awarenesses, the inner and the outer, at the same time. It's this delicate, really active state of being present. Okay, but let's be real. This is not easy. In fact, the teaching is very clear that the part of you that's asleep, all your mechanical habits and reactions, will actively fight you on this. But that struggle, that's actually a critical part of the whole path. And here are the main culprits, the big villains that are always trying to pull you back into that sleep. You've got daydreaming, getting totally swept away by anger or worry, that nonstop internal chatter, and of course, the biggest one of all, just plain forgetting that you were even trying to be present in the first place. That's identification winning again. This is so important to understand. The goal is not to become some emotionless robot or to stop your thoughts. That's impossible. The goal is to change your relationship with them, to see them, to acknowledge them, but to not let them hijack the bus. You learn to observe them without being completely consumed by them. So why on earth would you go through all this trouble? Why put in all this effort? Because the rewards, according to this teaching, are absolutely transformative. We're talking about changing the entire quality of your being. First off, you gain real presence, the ability to actually live in the moment you're in. From that, a genuine will starts to develop, an intention that's more than just a passing mood. And all of that leads to inner freedom. You're no longer a puppet pulled around by your habits and reactions. For maybe the first time, you can actually choose how you respond. I mean, this really just sums the whole thing up, doesn't it? The practice of self-remembering is presented as the actual bridge, the thing that lets us evolve from a creature of habit, a mechanical human, into a truly conscious, intentional human being who actually has a unified self. Okay, that is plenty of theory. The source calls these exercises dragon trials because, well, they're a challenge. So let's look at a simple, practical way you can start this work yourself, right now. It's called the Bell of Awareness. Super simple. Just set a few random alarms on your phone. When one of them goes off, just stop. Whatever you're doing, stop. Ask yourself, where am I? What am I doing? Am I actually here for this? And then for just 10 seconds, try it. Try to divide your attention. Feel your feet on the floor, really see the room around you, and be aware of yourself, the I that is doing all the feeling and seeing. So I'm going to leave you with this final thought. But it's not just a question, it's more like a mission. The next time that little bell of yours rings and yanks you out of your daily slumber, what are you gonna find? What part of your mechanical self will you catch in the act? Because that first moment of truly seeing, that's where the real journey begins.